Hello, I'm Andrew Pritchard. Thank you for watching today's Northeast Regional Forecast, brought to you by Nutrien Ag Solutions. Well, over the last 72 hours, we've seen high pressure stationed over the southeastern United States, and that's kept things pretty dry all the way into parts of the southern regions of the Northeast region here across Pennsylvania, southern New York, into Massachusetts, and south from points from there. We have seen some precipitation sliding through the area across parts of northern New York, parts of New Hampshire, Vermont, and Maine over the last 3 days or so. As we go through the weekend into the early part of next week, here is that ridge of high pressure over the northeast region that's kept us warm and it's kept us dry over the last few days. We're going to start to see that be pushed off to the east by this trough as it starts to dig into parts of central and then eventually eastern Canada, bringing the chance for some precipitation to the region, also bringing the chance for some cooler temperatures. So let's go ahead and play this out. You see that ridge be kind of nudged off, but it rebuilds as we get into the later part of next week. So seeing again this trough begin to swing into the area. There it is by the time we get to the middle part of next week, bringing again some precipitation and some cooler temperatures, at the very least to cooler temperatures to the northern regions and some precipitation to at least the central regions before we do warm up again as we head into the later parts of next week. We can take a look at the European model vorticity on the left. We can look at precipitation type over on the right, and that'll kind of show this pattern. Let me go ahead and step through time with you guys here. Friday afternoon, seeing precipitation slide through the region. We begin to quiet out as we get into Saturday and Sunday before the next storm system comes in, bringing precipitation to parts of Pennsylvania and south from there as we get into talking about Sunday evening and Monday. Getting into Monday, though, dry across the region, dry all the way into Tuesday. And then as we get into the middle part of next week, this is looking at Wednesday morning, seeing a low slide through the region, bringing a front along with it, trying to get some precipitation through the region on Wednesday morning. And then it's really as we get to the later part of next week, we're going to start to resume a pattern where we've got high pressure over the southeast, keeping things mostly dry across the region, mostly warm, but then pumping Gulf moisture into the central United States, resuming a pattern where it's very active and stormy from the southern plains into the Corn Belt, and some of that may eventually push into the northeast region by the time we get to next weekend. Temperature anomalies, we're starting off here seeing that deep red color nudging into the as far north as New York State with cooler temperatures across New Hampshire, Vermont, and Maine. But as we head into the weekend and then eventually next week, seeing some cooler to more close to average temperatures across the northeast region before we resume that same pattern when this freezes at the end of the loop on Thursday of next week. Again, seeing that boundary set up with the warmer air over the southeastern United States, the warm and humid air being pumped up from the Gulf of Mexico, very active and stormy pattern across this region, but mostly warm and quiet as we look at the northeast region. We'll finish here looking at the high-resolution NAM model precipitation forecast as we go through the weekend. We're seeing the showers and storms across the region to start things off here on Friday. As we head through Friday evening, seeing some of those storms sneaking through Pennsylvania and New York, getting into Massachusetts on Friday night. As we get into Saturday morning, midday Saturday, still seeing some perhaps light showers across the region before those kick out of the area. Here, we restart this. Now we're on Saturday night. And then getting into Sunday, still seeing precipitation across southern portions of the region. Total liquid precipitation getting us all the way into Monday morning. So through the weekend, seeing the heaviest precipitation across parts of Pennsylvania, parts of Rhode Island here, where we could talk about 1 inch to 2 inches. Lighter, maybe just very light to a trace of precipitation, a couple tenths of an inch across New Hampshire, Vermont, and Maine. And then as we look at high temperatures, we're not talking about any snow. I'll mention that. I left the graphic out, but that's because we'd have no snow in the forecast over the weekend, which is nice, maybe being about done with that. We'll look at high temperatures just to finish here. Your Friday high temperatures in the 70s across Pennsylvania and part of New York, southern New York, cooler off to the north and east. Saturday high temperatures. Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, starting to see that very warm air mass come back in from the south and the southwest, with 60s and 70s becoming widespread. As always, Eric Snodgrass will have an in-depth look at the evolution of the next 1 to 2 weeks in our Monday morning ag forecast video, and I'll have your next Northeast regional forecast for you right here midday on Tuesday. Have a wonderful weekend.